Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. I haven't done one of these in a while, I'm very sorry. I've had some personal problems that I've had to go and solve. But we are back at Laguna Seca, and you may murder me because we are running the P2. So it's not a GTP today. So this lap was a 1:15.571. It's a pretty good lap, it's in competitiveness it's decent. You know, it's not breaking any records as per se, but it's pretty good. I mean, if we look at the UI and we go to the most recent race, we'll see what other people get. But I'm assuming it's about the same-ish, maybe? Let's hope it is, at least, because otherwise this is ruined. Okay, so this was in race trim, by the way, so 1:16.2, but of course they have traffic. So, let's see. Okay, yeah. So we're looking at the fastest lap of the race, so it's actually not too bad. It's faster than I thought. I mean, it's 4K iRater, 5.9 there, 6 basically. He's 15.7. Okay, so let's get into it. Right, so we're going to the cockpit view, and I'm very sorry that I'm off center because I can't be bothered setting it up properly. Right, let's go. So coming out the pit straight, just hold tight to the left. Of course, just cut as much as possible. Do not hit these bollards, by the way. It does give you damage, which you know, you learn from your mistakes, put it that way. That's the only reason why I know. Okay, so now we spot the foreboard. We don't brake yet. We brake here at the GTP. I did try the GTP here, but I really don't get along with it right now, so I'm just running the LMP2. So we brake at the free line right there. And what we can do is we can get onto this like tarmac thing, because there's literally no track limits here, it seems. You can go as wide as putting 2 wheels on it, but I haven't tested more, and I don't know if it's faster. I don't think even in this lap I crossed onto it too much. I think I have half the car on it. Yeah, so I have half the car on it, and what we want to do is we sort of slow down to first and double apex this corner. If you want to double apex this corner, turn in earlier. Don't try and like take a really weird wide line, because it's not, that won't double apex. You can definitely experiment though. Maybe you can find a weird line that works. This is just the line that works for me. So first gear, double apex, and then I'm on the brake at like 1%, and I'm just waiting for the car to really like grab onto the tarmac. And then I come back on the throttle. I'm very sorry for the stutters. I don't know what has happened to this PC. It's given me a shit ton of issues. Sorry for the language. So yeah, we get back on throttle and we can use this left curb. And then we can run it out to this right curb. And then we fast forward a tiny bit. And we brake in between the 2 and the 1. And here we can shift down into second gear. With the P2, you always want to be at the lowest gear possible, because the rev range is very high up in the RPM. So yeah, being at a higher gear is not beneficial for it. Although in the GTP, I can also tell you that you can take this in third. It seems to be faster for me anyway in the BMW. But yeah, so second gear for the P2. And make sure you take this left curb. It should be like you should be able to draw a diagonal line from like the curb. Like you should be able to see it like a diagonal line, because it really opens this up. If you don't take this properly, you'll always run into like some self understeer, or you run wide. That's how you know you have the wrong line here. You have to really sort of get over on the left hand side curb and wait for the curb for it to open up. You can feel like it's opened up there, and now we just hold that 1% trail brake. We get back on throttle and we can run it all the way wide. I wouldn't really want to touch this gravel here though. Okay, now here's I love this corner in this car. It feels amazing. So we initiate the turn in and we brake very lightly here and shift down 1 gear into third. So yeah, brake very light. Especially with this setup, it's extremely touchy on the brakes, which I love. So yeah, very light brake, just to get the nose planted. Don't really think of it as slowing down. And as soon as we really feel the car settled, then we can get back on the throttle. And here, just use all the curb again. Here we brake just about at the 2 board, and what we want to do is like shift down slowly into second, but we should really focus on keeping the minimum speed up here, because you can really go into this corner hard in this car it feels like you're going Mach 1 through this corner, and that's when it feels right. You should never, don't over slow in this corner. It's very easy to do. I was doing it at first, but I just found, I just experimented, and it seems that if you have a high minimum speed through this corner, it definitely pays off. You shouldn't focus too much on exit here. So we're in second gear. And once you sort of hit this curb, that's the first sign. Let's start thinking about getting back on the throttle. Boom. Then we run it out all the way onto the right hand side curb. Okay, here I pick the 2-board to brake out. I like to brake lighter and earlier into high speed corners, not later and harder. And I think that's just the correct way. I mean, obviously there's disagreements, but that's what works for me. So I brake lighter and earlier. So I brake at the 2-board, and we don't have to brake very hard here. It's more of just like a brush, just to get the front end planted into the tarmac. So we shift down into third and just really focus on bringing as much speed through here as possible. And an interesting thing here is if you run the middle of the car over this curb, it sort of grabs you and you lose a little bit of exit speed. I can't tell you, I think it's just a minuscule bit slower if you grab the middle of the car on this curb, but I would experiment still. Okay, here I don't have the best braking zone for you, but we can use this white line. Boom. And you want to stick all the way to the right here, and just when you get over this crest, obviously lift off the brake just a little bit, peel off the pressure. Boom. And then get back on the pressure. Boom. And what we want to do is we want to stay on the right and just straight line it as much as possible. You can really take a lot of speed through here. I used to cut in way too early here, and it would be like I got stuck. But if you just be patient and turn in later, you can literally straight line it. So here we get the middle of the car over this curb, and then the middle of the car on the exit. And the way how to know that the really useful trick that I use is this tree. If I'm like on the right, just about on the right hand side of it, that means I'm lined up perfectly for when I go down. And another thing, a little catch, is I see a lot of people sort of, they get scared so that they're going to cut too much, so they carry on with left steering lock. You want to switch. So when you're over this crest, switch over. Don't be too tempted to get all the way over to the right. It just, because there is camber here, and when you're all the way over to the right, you lose a little bit. So you just want to stay in the middle. Keep in third gear, and then do a 1% brake, just a light brake, just to get the nose pointed in. And then once we get near this curb, we peel back on the throttle. I'm very sorry that it's stuttering. Okay, and we can run it all the way out. I should have maybe took a bit more entry speed into there. Could have carried a bit more speed, so there's a bit time lost there. Here, we brake in between the 1 and the 2. And we really just want to get over into the right-hand side, in the right-hand side of the track, because that's where all the camber is, as you can see. If you stay on the outside, you're just going to get spat out. Really focus on getting a lot of speed through there. You can really smash into it because of all the camera. And then use all the exit curb. Brake at the 2-board. And I had a really bad starter here, so I do apologise if something weird happens here. Okay, so that wasn't actually too bad. So once we pass that 1-board, we start to initiate the turn-in. And really focus on braking here as much as possible, utilising the brake. The straight line brake as much as possible whilst you're also turning, but obviously be careful not to overwhelm the tyres. It's very easy to get inside locking here, and we can use a tiny bit of this sausage curb. Get back on the throttle. We can really smash into the throttle because it's really low torque in the lower RPM ranges. And then for exit, we can go all the way out wide. You will not really run into track limit ever here. And that was a 115.571. Right, let me play that from start to finish without me talking. full lap. Just watching that, it's really annoying that it's stuttering. So I do apologise. Yeah, there's nothing much I could have done there. It's so random, and it really gets on my nerves. You can just see it all the time. It just stutters. So annoying. But yeah, I'm just gonna do a DDU install on the graphics driver and see if that helps, because oh my gosh, it's so annoying. Right. Very sorry again that this is very delayed. I haven't been active recently, but yeah, I had some personal issues that weren't too good. But yeah, we're back up and running, and hopefully, you know, we can get some more done. Maybe a bit more GTP, possibly. Yeah, I think GTP. I would still run GTP. It's just the P2 feels nice. It feels really nice. It actually feels like a car, not a pile of garbage on plastic wheels. It's the best way to put how the GTPs feel, especially around this track, because you can get no heat in the tires, so it always just feels like you're about to die. And especially with the Beamer on the P1 dock set, the P1 docks is the best that I've tried, right? But the thing is with it has a really low brake bias, so it means that when you're in braking zones, it's just so hard to not get rear locking. And you can say skill issue, that's fair enough, yeah, it's a skill issue. But when we switch over to a different set, then I have too far forward, and then you just get front locking, inside locking, and it's the most infuriating thing I think I've ever driven. And it's like, if I don't enjoy driving it, then why am I driving it in the first place? Because that's just how you hate something. If you don't enjoy what you drive, then you're going to hate it. You need to drive what you enjoy as well. Like, I know the thing that appealed to me with the GTPs is top class, it's fastest, it's cool, right? Because we have different manufacturers: BMW, Porsche, GOAT, Ferrari. You know, you have Aston Martin now, not in this game, but you know what I mean. You have it's so high status, so to be able to drive them is like it's really cool, right? The GTP drive are cool, but the thing is with them, they're just not that enjoyable to drive anymore. Like, I don't find that satisfying sort of feeling like I did with this car at Laguna, because the brakes feel so good on this car. This is the R-Docs setup, and it feels amazing through this track. So if you are a P2 driver and you want to try a setup for this track, I mean, I don't drive P2 often, so I can't say. Maybe it's a trash setup, but I don't think it is. I think it feels fantastic, because the thing that I always didn't really like with the P2 is how understeery it is. And the R-Doc setup has completely fixed it. In fact, it might be even on the other side of where it's quite pointy for a lot of people. But for me, that's where I want to be. I want a pointy car than an understeery car. I hate understeer. I just can't go fast with understeer. So yeah, this setup for me at least is the best. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully, you know, get another video done, and I'll see you next time.